What's good, though? It's DeeHart Talks on FlaveTv, man.
Come on.
Appreciate you coming through, man.
Oh, man, not a thing, player, not a thing.
Shit, man. Every time we on YouTube now, we see a Omar interview, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Good shit, good shit. Go ahead, algorithm.
Man, what got you back going, bro?
You, Nick. No. It's kind of funny. This thing all started with one interview from a person that I had no idea who he was. They said, "Man, you got to do an interview with Vlad." I said, "Who the f- is Vlad?" Everybody's doing VladTV. I was like, "I'm not. No." I kept saying no. I wasn't getting offered money. It was just one of them come on my platform and tell your story type shit. But I kept it. Oh, you turned down Vlad? Damn, Nick, why you turn down? I said, "All right, fine. I'll go do this." And I did it, and it was cool. But then the beef with me and him started because he wanted me to do a second interview in character as Sweet Pea. I said, "Now listen, man, that is a role that's very near and dear to a lot of people's hearts, especially mine. I'm not around with that. You know what I mean? It took me a while to even do memes and like little jokes and skits. Like niggas call me every day, hey, let's do a scene in my music video where you whooping my ass and all. You know, I'm like, man, calm down." But yeah, so I think that turned into some type of beef because how I reacted. Because I'll tell you no, and then I'll tell you no, and then it'll turn into no, then it'll turn into him. So when it got to be him, now he's feeling some kind of way. And we actually had a conversation for like 45 minutes about it recently, thanks to another interviewing platform, Panda Chopper. He was like, "Oh man, Vlad's the Godfather. He's the one that started all this shit. He's the one that began that." I was like, "All right, slow down. For me, yeah, because he was the first one that I did it. But Real Life Street Star, that was the first ones that paid me. You know? And I was like, cut the check moving forward, which is cold-blooded because it's a cold game. Because a lot of them, hey, do my platform. I'm like, yep, you got a budget? And then they feel some kind of way like, oh, damn, really? I'm like, yeah, they paying for these. You didn't know that? Y'all getting paid. Why can't other people get paid on the other side? So it's mutually beneficial is what I like to say.
So who you say connects you with Real Life Street Stars?
Some brother named D. Some cat named D. He's a good dude. He's a good brother.
Nah, so you already brung up Vlad, so I'm gonna just ask you a question about Vlad. Like,
sure.
So you think that 40K for an interview is too much?
Yes, because I haven't got 40K yet, so that's some bullshit. No. Do I think it's too much to pay or to ask for?
Yeah, to ask. Both.
I would say it depends on who you're interviewing, and depending on who they are, basically.
So you ain't hear about that situation then, right? With Boosie. Boosie asked for 40K.
Yeah, Boosie's a wild boy. I never knock anybody's hustle. You know what I mean? So like, I'm digging this interview stuff because it was an extra revenue stream. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? So if that's your hustle, that's your hustle. If people are listening to him and valuing his opinion on things, then his value's going up. But do I think? No, I would never tell a man, what he can earn or what he should charge or ask for.
Yeah, I feel that. So, man, not too long ago, you was in a serious car accident, man. Can you tell us what happened, man? I know you probably spoke on it, but you ain't spoke on it with me, so.
No, I have not spoke on it. I talk about it when I do my stand-up because it's therapy. It's therapeutic. Right. You ever talk to somebody about some bullshit that happened and they laughing? And you're like, what are you laughing about? And then you realize, oh, there's some humor to it. So when we get on stage and we perform and people laugh with us, it helps us kind of get over the trauma. So what happened was I hired a driver. I knew I was going to be drinking. So he wasn't drinking. I was in the back seat. Like, nigga, you hired, nigga. I'm not sitting next to you, nigga. I'm in the back. You know what I mean? 4 o'clock in the morning, we heading home. I reclined in the back seat. Boom. I took a nap. Like I said, I was drinking. It's 4 o'clock. I took a nap. And this nigga decided he want to take a nap too. So he at the center divider, car flipping, sliding all over the place. We get to the center of the road, or actually to the side. I mean, imagine just being asleep. All I'm hearing is bam, bam, bam. I'm like, oh, this is an accident, you know what I mean? So it had a back door that you push the button and it slide open. I pushed the button and it only went halfway. So now I'm yanking the door because the car was totaled, bro. I slide out. I start walking to try to get away from the shit. I'm trying to get to the side of the freeway and I took 3 steps and the right side of my body shut down. Boom, I hit the floor. Now I'm using the left side to kick my ass into the bushes and now I just can't move at all. And I lay there till paramedics or the ambulance and fire department came. And of course, ain't nothing happened. His driver unscathed. You talk about my elbow hurts a little bit. Like, nigga, I can't move. Come here close, I bite you. You too, motherfucker. And we get to the ER and they were like, damn, he's got ants all over him. I'm like, yeah, I was in the bushes. You know what I'm saying? For like an hour or so whenever the motherfucker got me there. But God is good, man, because, it could have been worse. It was a C2 fracture. They call it a hangman's fracture. Same shit that happened to Christopher Reeves.
So it was broke? Your neck was broke?
Your neck was broke. When I got there, it was like, you broke your neck, son. We're going to get some x-rays and we're going to see if you're going to need surgery. And by the grace of God, I didn't need surgery. They said you're going to have to wear a neck brace for 3 months, which turned into 2 months. Yeah. And a lot of other shit is still ongoing, so there's not too much more I can say.
So it's like a 3
I'm trying
month
to sue
process.
the pavement. I'm trying to sue the trees.
So somebody hit y'all?
The tire company.
They
No, the nigga fell asleep when we hit a center divider.
So it's his fault.
Yeah, absolutely. He getting sued too. Him. Everybody. They were like, was it an Uber? I was like, nah, I would own Uber. Bad, no. It should have been an Uber. Shout out to Uber. My Uber rides is different now. I sit in the front.
I feel that. Man,
with
so
questions. Like, what
that
you drinking?
experience changed your outlook on life?
Oh, absolutely. It changed how I, when you get a second chance, people say it was a near-death experience. You know what I mean? And usually in a near-death experience, you see a white light and you hear God. It was dark and I didn't hear nothing. It was some scary, especially that MRI. That's crazy. You're in there for like an hour and then just beeping to, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, started, had to work out and walk. And as soon as I could do anything, they said, you can walk as much as you want. So now 10,000 steps a day, all that weight started dropping, you know what I'm saying? They cut up. They just cleared me for physical therapy, so I'm getting back into that. So yeah, definitely changed. But I was able to focus, man. I was talking to a friend who is, shout out to Marty Scott. His Love is Amazing movement, man. And he, he's a man of God. He was like, I was like, man, when the devil attacks, he's like, that wasn't the devil, that was God. God made you sit down. Now utilize it. See the bigger picture in it. And I did, you know what I'm saying? So I started writing more. My stand-up has expanded, obviously. Material. I'm developing shows, music, everything. And I was wondering too. I was like, damn, stop drinking, ain't smoking, ain't doing that because that's bad for your bones. So how do I, see how my creativity is gonna be? And it's like I wrote like 2 albums. You know what I'm saying? It didn't skip a beat. Plus the walking too. I think humans, we're made to walk, not run. Running, it's bad for your knees and all that shit. Yeah, not run, but walking, you'd be surprised. Just start walking more and more. All of a sudden, your mind opens up. You know what I mean? I do all my writing, walking and moving. So yeah, man. Shout out to that center divider, the nigga that got sleepy. Shout out to God. Shout out to them ants. Them ants. No.
Man, you currently doing This Is 50 tour. Tell us about
Yes, sir. This is 50, man. I turned 50 in October. So I've had 3 shows already, and everybody keeps showing up saying happy birthday. I'm like, thank you. It's not yet. But This Is 50 is the name of the tour, celebrating over 40 years in the business. Because when I get on stage now, like I said, not only is it therapy, but I have a complete show. You feel what happened? We didn't pay the bill? What was that? Huh? That's it? It's been an hour? All right.
Nah. It just hit that level.
It hit that level?
It's going to go back on.
All right. Oh, it's
Texas heat killing you.
It's going to go on. Anyway, the tour itself is me showcasing and giving back to 40 years. Now, when I bring up the 40 years, when I first started doing stand-up, which started because of the actor strike. So when the actor strike happened, y'all gotta understand there's 2 things. One, if you're not working, you already you probably got some side hustles. But if you are working like I was, I just signed a deal to Disney, right? So I'm getting ready to do this new Disney show for 10 years as far as I'm concerned. Some shows usually run forever. And because of the strike, it didn't get picked up. And then everything was slow getting back to work. But also because they were striking, actors were encouraged not to work. That would be like crossing the picket line. So I'm like, all right, I ain't gonna do no acting, but I'm gonna hit the road. So I hit the road, did a couple of shows where I was just a host. And then the hosting led to me trying out a set. Set turned it quickly into headlining. And then I've been all across the country. But as I got on and off stage and I talked to people and take pictures and whatnot, they would help me modify my set by asking, saying, oh man, you didn't say nothing about Baby Boy. I was like, okay, noted. Oh man, my favorite show was Smart Guy. You ain't say nothing about Smart Guy. I was waiting for that. And I was like, all right. So now I check off all the boxes. You know what I'm saying? When I get on stage, whatever you liked about my career or loved or a fan of, I touch on.
So recently I seen you with Tee Grizzley, man. How y'all end up crossing paths, bro?
That's a cool. That was a cool cat, man. I was aware of him and a fan of his music, and his people just reached out and they needed somebody in his music video that kind of represented the 90s. That was a staple, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to give too much away about the video that we did, but I think people are gonna enjoy it. But yeah, we could hang a little bit, and he was mutually respective and a fan, so it was fun.
Where was y'all at?
L.A. Yeah, he came to my city, so I said, all right, man, we pull up on you. It's a good dude.
All right. So did you hear about what's going on with the comedian Luenell and the headlines?
Oh, what happened?
So she went up to K104 out here in Dallas.
Okay. And
she went off on them, threatening them and everything, talking about, man, her family would pull up and all that.
Yeah.
Because look, on the way there.
Luenell?
Yes, bro. So on the way there, she listened to the radio. And they shouting out T.I., but she say, I'm in town, y'all ain't shouting me out, and I'm on the way to the radio. And their response was basically like, hey, we about to do a whole hour with you right now and run you all weekend. So what you think about that?
Wait. So T.I. was there.
Yeah, for one day.
And then she came the next day?
Well, I guess she was coming that same day up.
Okay. Oh, I see. She's listening on the radio. Oh, we got T.I. in the building, but she didn't hear her name. Yeah, okay, all right. I feel like, and it was the same radio station she was on the way to.
Exactly.
We got to do better. It would be nice if everybody thought the same. It would be a peaceful world. It'd be great. It'd be cute. But that just ain't how it work, man. Come on, Luenell. Whose name is bigger? Yes, T.I. Of course, T.I. is coming. T.I. Oh, and Luenell. Sorry, Luenell. Have you ever heard motherfuckers say who? We may know you. You know what I'm saying? But not everybody. Everybody knows T.I. You got to know the difference between you're a star and then everybody knows you. I'm Omar Gooding. My brother is Cuba Gooding Jr. It holds a different weight. I get it. He walk in the room and, oh my God, you know that. I walk in the room, who's that? You know who you look like? It's a different vibe. You know what I'm saying? I respect that. If I'm driving to the station, they're like, Cuba Gooding Jr. is coming. Oh, they didn't mention me? No. Y'all related? Oh, that's right. You do look alike. Like, put yourself in and because some people live in their own box. In their world, they're the king of their castle, the queen, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's kissing their ass, loving them. Wherever they go, they know who they are. But if they reach somebody else that's a king in their own right, now it's like, oh, I got to take a back seat to this person. Learn to humble yourself. You know what I mean? What are people pulling up going to do? Pull up for what? We mad. Why? Because you didn't mention my people's name? Man, knock it off. That's crazy.
I feel that. So, I got to bring this up. I got to hear about it. You know who I'm about to bring up, man. Aries Spears, man.
Oh.
What was the situation with that, bro?
I got respect for dude. I'm going to tell you why I got respect for dude. Now, the full history of me and Aries Spears, I auditioned to play my brother's brother in Jerry Maguire. We look a lot alike. It makes sense on camera for me to be his brother. And that was the only time we've ever had an opportunity to work together as brothers. But the feedback that I got back from my agents was, you guys, it was two things that happened. Well, for one, they didn't want to act like they were showing favoritism. Like we hired, we got this actor, Cuba Gooding Jr., and then we put his brother in to play his brother. You know what I mean? They didn't want that, so that's why I didn't get the role. And then they hired Aries Spears. I think somewhere in the back of my mind, I was like, this. But it was never animosity. It was congratulations. He did a good job in the role, especially when he got kicked in the head and all that shit. I was like, oh yeah, I wouldn't have been cool with that. And I've seen altercations he's got into, and the guy that jumped on him while they was, doing the interview, and I was like, God, and I always said, well, we don't know what happened after he might have had some, okay, the cameras is on. When it's off, I'm gonna fuck you up. Who knows? Me personally, y'all would have had to see that shit. But what happened after that between us personally, I had gotten to some out in the streets, and some broke it up, all this, boom, and he was one of the dudes that came over like, hey man, calm down, you got shit to lose. And I'm like, I don't even know you, right? In my mind, that's what but we didn't meet. It was just him doing a good deed. Like, oh, he's seeing a brother he knows from like TV, mutual respect. He's like, yo man, you need to calm down, chill out. And I'm just like, y'all didn't even know what the happened. Y'all just, you know what I mean? And I spoke on that when I was doing the interview with Panda Chop. And then I started drinking. And then the internet, the connection went bad. Somebody's phone died, all this, blah, blah, blah. It took us like a couple hours to get the interview done. By the time we got to the end of it, I was loaded. Now I'm just talking. I'm in the middle of a comedy tour. I got an album. I got this rap beef going on with Camron. So they're like, oh yeah, Camron, would you fight him? I was like, I'll punch him in the mouth. I'm saying all type of wild shit. And they were like, Aries Spears just said Ice Cube. I'm like, Aries Spears. Like I'm just, going off. Like, anybody could get it. And the dude took that interview and he chopped it up and he made it look like I was just like, Aries Spears is a clown. Da, 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 da. And I was like, but I didn't see it. I just got a DM from Aries. And he, in the DM, he tripping. What, you don't know me. Whoa. I was like, no. So I respond. I'm about him. Boy, you gonna know me when I see you. Well, we talking crazy. And then I was like, let me see what the he's all riled up about. And then I saw the little interview in the clip and I was like, yeah, that's bad. That's not a good look. Oh, that's not a good look. I was like, I'm not gonna start no beef over no bull. You know what I'm saying? So I hit him up and I said, you know what, my nigga, man to man, I saw this. It was out of pocket. I had dude take it down. Now look, there's only 10 views. You just happen to be one of them. You want me to put this on my page and I'll be like, yo, look, I want to respectfully woo, 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 but that'll just have more looking at this. Or do you want me to let it go? He said, you know what, man to man, we talked it out. Good shit, respect, love, boom, boom. I was like, I respect that. So now he goes on and does another interview with Vlad that I just happened to see. This first time it was just me scrolling like, look at this shit. And Vlad is baiting him and trying to get him to talk shit about me. And he's just like, yeah, so Omar wouldn't come on my show. What's the beef with y'all? And he was like, nah, ain't nothing. He said, what y'all talk about? He's like, that's between us. I was like, good shit, right? So then he starts trying to like get him to say some negative shit towards me. And Aries just kept shrugging it off like, nah, like, let's get to my interview. Like, what are we talking about this man for? And he was like, yeah, well, I had an interview. I had him on my platform and I don't want him to come back as Sweet Pea. And then he was saying, me, because I was asking him to come back in a character, like, you know, what do you think of that? And he's like, it's his choice. Yeah, well, you know, don't you think it's a blah, blah, blah? You know, and every time he tried to egg him on, Aries just kept kind of going, nah. And he's like, well, you know, if BET asked, he wouldn't do that. He's like, you ain't BET. You know what I'm saying? And it was some real shit. I was like, respect. So that's the only beef that I had with him. But me and Aries, we cool.
So y'all squashed that, right?
Oh, yeah, we cool. Fast, not slow. Reactively, it was like a 30-second beef. And then by the 31st second, I was like, oh, I was in the wrong. Let me hit this up. And, we good.
All right, bro, I got to ask you this. You remember I text you about this because I'm like, man, what's going on with the dude, DJ Unk? Did he called you Cuban Gooding Jr.? do you really think he thought you was, did he really think you was your brother? Like, or was he trolling or was that?
No, I think it was more of a troll. It's kind of funny because sometimes people know, like they want to make a joke and they think it's funny. But I think the funny thing is to call me Cuban Gooding Jr. has there's so many mistakes in that. The nickname is Cuba. First of all, ain't no N on there, right? So if he was just calling me that, I think that was the extent of his joke. This is Cuba Gooding Jr. Ha ha ha. All right, that would have been, oh yeah, nice and funny. But first of all, you disrespect my brother by his name up. Then you calling me him and all this bullshit. So I got up and walked out. And when I walked out, at the same time, my son called me on FaceTime, so I just went ahead and had a conversation with him for about 10, 15 minutes. So a lot of people saw the rest of him just sitting there talking, like this nigga really walked out. People kept calling me, damn, you had to walk out? I said, well, I walked out and I took a phone call. But I came back and I finished the interview, so I'm pretty sure he showed the rest of it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. No, I was just wondering about that, because I'm like, man, and I know you don't really be running plays like that, so I'm like, what was that all about?
Yeah, see, and that's the thing, too. Again, like when I got into the Camron situation, I don't think he was trying to disrespect me, Camron. And with again, that's his platform. That's his thing. That's kind of like what he does. So I get it. But again, I think I've heard that a lot. You know what I'm saying? At my father's funeral, they were calling him Cuba. And we were like, Cuba. And he was like, yes, Cuba. We're like, no, Cuba, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure I can imagine what my brother gets, because people are people, man. People are real human. You got to have thick skin and you got to have understanding when you're out. You know what I mean? That's the difference between celebrities. Like a lot of people can't handle celebrity. They can't handle being a celebrity and what comes along with it. You know, when I go out, people say things like, I don't mean to bother you. Can I get a picture? And the answer's the same, of course. And you're not bothering me. If I didn't want to be bothered, I'd stay at home. It's that simple. All celebrities need to know that. That's why you get paid what you get paid. So you can hire security, or you can stay at home, or you can order what you want. Don't be out in public, and a person that doesn't see celebrities or is a big fan of yours sees you, and they might not ever see you again. They want to take this opportunity. And what's funny is people say, my wife ain't ever going to believe this. Why? You be lying too much. Like, why would she? My friends will never believe me unless I get a picture. Like, why wouldn't they believe you? I don't know what's with your... You can tell the truth more. But let's get a picture, you know what I'm saying? Or autograph or whatever the case is. So, I mean, it doesn't take long to be nice to somebody. Now, you got to also be able to stand up for yourself. I've had times I'm eating and I'm like, hey, man, can I talk to you? I'm like, can I chew first? Let me just put the food in my mouth before we... Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, and you got to know when enough is enough. Because someone will be like, oh, man, no, dude, I want to ask you this a long time. Yeah, ask a question. Yes, and we're done. And another thing. Okay, another thing. Yeah, you see I'm moving fast, too. I'm trying to get yeah, uh-huh. real quick, yes, all right, look, boom, you know what I mean? But you got to know how to stand up for yourself. And that's why some people just have security, because motherfuckers be like, no. Right. And, you know, I mean, again, it's one of those things you just got to be realistic and have some common sense.
Man, so, man, what pissed you off the most about people calling you Omar Gooding Jr.?
That's just not how juniors work. That's not how they work. You got to have, you know, common sense. Like, I get why they say it. I get the why. I had to put it like this. Like, if who's a famous junior? Sammy Davis Jr. Let's say his brother's name was Thomas. Oh, that must be Tommy Davis Jr. And you go, that don't work. If you think about it, that don't make sense. But it sounds good in your head. You know what I mean? And, you know, I got love and respect for my brother, so I don't mind being compared to him or him being brought up. That only makes sense. If you think Omar, you should think Cuba Gooding Jr., especially if you know that we're brothers. So I get it. I get why it happens. It doesn't upset me. Well, a little bit. It's like the other day I was walking on, I was in, you sure? No, but I was walking somewhere that the guy was filled with so much joy. I'm walking through the parking lot and he goes, hey, you're Omar Gooding Jr. And I was like, close enough. You know, like, I get your excitement. But I think what I said in the moment was, hi, no junior. But then he's like, hey, yo, no, my bad, I'm sorry. But yeah, yo, man, I love you. And I'm like, all right, cool. How you get upset at that? You know what I mean? Nah, for real. But, yeah, like, the only time it's rage baiting is when you see people do it on purpose. And that's trolls online, the cowards that just type and shit. Hey, Omar Gooding Jr., ha, ha, ha. You know what I mean? But again, when they do it, it's usually a mistake, an accident.
So you feel like Camron did it on purpose? I mean, you walked me to it, bro.
Long sit.
Hey, bro, it's literally right in order too. It's crazy how you did that.
I think he. No. Here's the thing, because I think the brother has some intelligence about himself. I think he's a relatively smart human being. But you know, players fuck up. I think. You know, what's funny is we did a movie together called Percentage. And if you see the title cover of the movie, the poster for it, it's him, me, and Bing Rames. Now he's doing podcasts. He's interviewing 50 Cent. While he's talking to 50 Cent, he says, people like Omar Gooding Jr. and Ving Rhames got to sit around and wait for 50 Cent to put them in something. There's so many errors. You know what I mean? Ving Rhames, he's still working. Knock it off. He's in MI-17. Like, he's in all of them. He's got Arby's commercials. I'm sure he's not doing, you know what I mean? No problem with it. Me, check my resume. I'm constantly working. TV shows, movies, plays, stand-up comedy, producing, directing, writing, like, you know what I mean? So everything that he was talking about, both of us are already doing. So that was two bad examples. But I thought the purposeful part was, well, damn, you just happened to mention two people that you actually did a movie with. So I'm like, that's kind of interesting that you would choose our names. Him saying my name wrong? No, I don't, you know. Even he said it to 50. 50 was like, right. He didn't say, oh, you mean Omar Gooding? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, not that he would. But, yeah, I don't think that part was purposeful. But he knew that it was disrespectful what he was about to say, because what did he say? No disrespect to the people I'm about to mention. Now, you know it's some bullshit coming if you lead with that. You know what I'm saying? So when you start with no disrespect, but, leave the but out, or just don't say the no disrespect for it. I mean, as soon as I heard that part, I started writing. I said, bar is coming.
So that's what made you, like, this him on track? You just, like, what made you do it?
Yeah. I wrote 2 records as soon as I heard that interview. And then I did an interview and mentioned that I wrote 2 songs. And they're like, where is it? And I was like, good point. So then I laid them down. And as artists, you can write something all day, but till you get in the booth and lay it down, it becomes something else. You know what I'm saying? So when I heard it back, I said, yeah, this is it. We got to put this shit out. And let's go. If he would have came, I was expecting war. I was like, ugh. Especially a dude like that who don't play nice. That's like trying to go at 50. You know he gonna come just. It's gonna be some disrespectful shit. We're gonna find out what fans I got for real. We're gonna see what type of skin I got. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't think he's not as hungry a rapper as he used to be. Let's just put it that way. That's what I think. You know, I think when in hip hop it's about hunger, unless you just got it. You know what I'm saying? So some niggas, it don't matter. You can Jay-Z will go crazy now, just like he did then. You know what I mean? Eminem crazy now, just like he was then. You know what I'm saying? Some cats, they lose that hunger, that edge, and it's different for them. Shit, that matters doesn't really matter to them. You know what I mean? They live in a bubble. To the bubble, the people around them, he's the greatest. He can't do no wrong. You know what I mean? He step outside that bubble, he's talking shit. You know, I live outside the bubble.
Thomas was feeling you though. You know what I'm saying?
Thomas was feeling me, yeah. And I mean, you know, he's loyal. He's got people that are loyal to him. And you know, the only issue that I had with the beef was that, you know, like I got a call from Corrupt because Battle Cat called him and was like, "We going to war again? I'm sending Omar all these beats. We finna go nuts." And then he called me immediately. Was like, "Yo, nigga, what's going on, nigga? Nah. I lived through the first East-West battle. Calm down. Stand the fuck down." And I was like, "Did you hear the records?" He's like, "I ain't gotta hear it. I got my niggas calling me saying we about to go crazy. Like, calm down." And I was like, "Listen to the music. Call me tomorrow." And he listened and called me back and was like, all right. I hear you. You know, I see what's going on and I got your back and whatever, but just be careful. Because you don't want to start no shit like that unless this is some real shit. Because no one really fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? And when you got that fuck with you, accidents can happen. People can do shit in your name. "Oh, this for Omar." Like, whoa. This is between me and him. So I had to be real specific. Like when I say West Coast, before I start spitting, that's just because I'm from the West Coast. I like repping it. You know, sometimes we don't get enough love and respect for being lyricists. You know what I'm saying? New York does. They got the double entendre and the metaphors, and they nigga, battle rap. I'm like, West Coast too, nigga, don't slow down. So I like to lead with that and then bust. You know what I'm saying? But there were people in the comments, "Oh, he trying to start the beef. Oh, he trying to disrespect Harlem." My parents were both born in Harlem. And my brother and sister were born in the Bronx. I got love for New York. I'm just not from there. You know what I mean? But like, in all reality, I got East Coast blood. But I wasn't raised by East Coast mother. I mean, you know, my father was there when he was there. My mother's the shit. But like, the niggas, my peers that I, you know, kind of got my isms and from and my mannerisms and what, you know what I mean? That was all West Coast.
And that's funny, bro. You right on point, because I was going to ask about your lineage in New York too anyway. Yeah. Like you being a DeeHart Knicks fan, you know what I'm saying? You know I'm fucking with you. I know it's Lakers all day your way.
My sister's a DeeHart Knicks fan. It's funny. Seems like more motherfuckers that used to live in New York or were born there are more New Yorkers than most New Yorkers. I thought that shit was crazy too. New York boy. Ooh, shout out to them. They're glad they pulled it off because everything that had to happen right happened for them to win this. Every goddamn thing you watch them games, it's like, okay, if that didn't happen, nigga just dribbled the ball, nigga, this nigga took a bullshit shot, this nigga tipped it in, like it was crazy. So shout out to them. It's Lakers season now though.
No, so I was gonna ask you that about the Lakers, man. What you think about LeBron, bro? What you think about him leaving, and where you think he going? Since he ain't going nowhere yet, we can get this.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
So as soon as he left, the Lakers are pure again. The Lakers are pure again because we don't have fans that were only Laker fans because of LeBron.
That's a fact.
They're not. We appreciated him coming. Let me tell you what real Laker fans' thought process was. The day before he signed, not one of us wanted him. Not one of us. We did not want LeBron James. We are Kobe-ists. We don't want no LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? And we weren't relevant at the time either. Kobe's retired. We got his team. We got some youngsters. We hoping that they mature into something, which they did after they got traded away, which happens all the time. And then LeBron comes. And then all of a sudden, we're relevant again. Now we like, okay, it's Lake Show. Yeah, Lakers is back. Boom. And then we also, as Laker fans, we were able to appreciate LeBron because a lot of people that didn't appreciate Kobe didn't watch Kobe for 82 games. How many times did we watch LeBron? 5-6 times a year? The 2 times he played us, and then the other highlight games, and then we see him in the playoffs or whatever. But we didn't watch him 82 times. Now, when he became a Laker, we watched this man 82 times a year and went, damn, there's something to his athleticism. Our problem with them never changed, though. Our problem with LeBron James is up here. Half of his brain is one of the best basketball minds ever. Half of it. But the other half is got to be is that Kobe shit that he did, that Mamba mentality. We wound up developing something that it didn't catch on. I said it behind closed doors a lot. I didn't put it on my social media, but it was a saying that I kept saying when LeBron was here, and it was called Kobe would never. LeBron kept doing shit. Kobe would never. Come on. You get a bad call and complain so much about that one call that we lose the whole game. You soaking on the bench like, all right, you missed the call. Now keep going. Could you imagine Kobe sitting there crying at the ref? And then the whole overtime, he's moping and shit, and we lose the... No. That was infuriating. And it was just his mentality about shit. But half of it was like, it was dope because this nigga worth $1 billion and he's crying over a whistle? Well, that's passion. So a lot of basketball people love him. Like, no, that's passion. They don't give a fuck about how much money he got. Make the right call. Make the right play. And he's arguing with the dude like, the ball is... We got 2 seconds on the clock. Why would you... Oh, nigga. But what's after that? Shit happens, nigga. Bounce back, next play mentality, nigga. Not sit there and dwell on, go over there. Oh, dude, this is some bullshit. Get over it. And he couldn't get over it. I watched this man lose games, chances at rings. You know what I'm saying? Because his mentality. He also reset the roster every year. Every year. How you gonna have a whole team with... It's a team sport.
Le GM.
Yeah. Le GM every year we had a whole new, like, damn, well, all right, this is a year. And Laker fans want championships. That's it. We don't give a fuck about rebuilding. We never have. Not just the fans, the organization. How many times have they... No, nigga, we trying to win now. We build a team to win this season. Not we going to draft everybody away and we just f around for a year. No. But this nigga kept resetting. So how do we feel when he left? We absolutely rejoiced. We were partying in the streets. You thought we won a championship. Yes, he's gone. Thank God. Why? Because now we can move the on. We're going to do another year of that. We weren't going to win. Now, win or lose, at least we know we have Lakers. LeBron James is not a Laker. He's not getting a statue. He's not... This shit ain't not in front of LA. Why? How successful is one championship in 8 years? How successful is that? Now, thank you for the ring. Now, I have a big opinion about the bubble. And this is the thing that I don't like, that pisses me off, the nigga disrespect, they call it the bubble, is what you got to realize. There's a word for you. Realize is that we lost the greatest basketball player that ever dribbled the ball. Greatest. He's the greatest because he studied the GOAT. And I think in whatever profession, whatever you're doing, I rap, I spit, I study the best lyricists that I've ever heard.
Bars.
And I incorporate that in my music. I know how to word play. I know how to I know how to slow it down. I can speed it up. I study the greatest and then I try to be that. I don't study just one, there's many. You know what I mean? Kobe was a student of the game. The best player ever before Kobe touched the ball was Michael Jordan. So of course he's got moves like Michael. Did you see the shit where they talk about how everybody tried to mimic Hakeem Olajuwon's pivot spin run? Kobe mastered that shit, man, and took it to a way that you didn't realize that was Hakeem. That nigga was back. We lost. Not only was Kobe a bad motherfucker, but he was able to pick apart other people's games and tell them how they can improve. His basketball mind. For him to pass away the way he did, with his daughter, with the family that was on board, oof. That was tough, right? So you have that. Then you have COVID. Then you have George Floyd being murdered. That was a heavy year. We needed basketball, amongst other things, right? We needed the distraction. But I don't give a bubble or not, we were winning that year. Not only did we have the best team, if not one of the best teams, we had the number 1 seed in the West throughout the entire year. But Kobe Bryant just died. Awfully. You telling me we weren't going to win that championship no matter what? We could have played on the moon, nigga. We were going to win that. But also, when you look at the bubble itself, what was our advantage? Were we at home? No. We were in Orlando. We're from California. Everybody had the same disadvantage and advantage. No distractions, no people in the stands, no, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was all basketball. And when it was nothing but basketball in the bubble, we were the best team of the year. That's one of my favorite rings. What y'all talking about?
So look, I got to go back to that LeBron point because
I'm getting there.
But look, I don't know if you know.
That's where all this rapping.
I grew up.
I had to give him his flowers first before I did.
So look, I grew up hooping with LeBron. I dropped a video when he was 12 years old hooping. So I'm gonna have to send it to you after this.
Okay.
And y'all go check it out. It's almost to 1 million views. But anyway, bro,
I feel like a shameless plug more than anything else. But go ahead, go on.
No, I gotta send it to you because if you watch that video, all the stuff you were saying, if you watch old LeBron, he never had that mentality. He was always pass first. And then on the cry side, I ain't saying he was a crybaby, but he had passion.
Yeah.
And it's all in that video. So if you watch it, you're like, it makes sense.
Yeah, and it's fine that it makes sense. I just don't like it.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's fine that it's and when you come from a person with Mamba mentality and then you have LeBron, it's harder to appreciate what LeBron is. I appreciated him winning that ring, appreciated him making us relevant again, appreciated the speech when Kobe died and he said this paper and spoke from the heart. I was like, okay, you better talk your shit, right? I just think he stayed too long. I think if he did like 4 years, gave us a ring, got the on, that'd be great. We'd love him. Put a statue up. Retire his jersey. You know what I mean? I think he's got to be careful moving forward, because this is where the frustration became why I say he stayed too long too. The first, like I said, first 3-4 years was great. Come on, LeBron. And then, it was just about him breaking records and milestones. It's like, oh, he got the most points. He didn't play forever. Of course he's got the most points. Like, you know what I mean? And so it wasn't as appreciated. Every time he broke a milestone, we lost that game. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, let's stand up and clap for him. I'm like, God damn it. And the Lakers lose by 40. Like, God, nigga, so we don't care that he's 52. Nigga, just win the game by 1 is all we want. So I think it was just a huge sigh of relief when it's like, okay, he's gone. And now look at this shit he's doing now. Nigga. Pick a team. He's actually holding up the whole league right now. You know that shit? Did you hear that shit? Yeah, he's holding up everybody. The youngsters that want to come in and play, they don't know where they're going. They can't even make the schedule yet because they got to know who's playing on Christmas. Where's LeBron at? They can do the matchups. They can't even do the schedule until this makes the decision. Hurry the f up is what I need.
Where do you think he's going to go, though?
To hell. No. No, that was a good lob there. That was good. No. So as a basketball fan, where would I like to see him? Now, there's 2 points I want to make. For one, I think one of his he's got 2 stats that I like. I'll give him some flowers now.
Thank you.
He's got 2 stats I like. Everywhere he went, he's won a ring. Also, every coach that won a ring with him ain't won nowhere else. So that's crazy. That's wild.
Wait, Mike Brown.
But Mike Brown, but shout out to Mike Brown now. Shout out to Mike Brown. Yeah. So he f***ed that one up. So he might as well f*** this one up too. Yeah. We throw that one away. Yeah, see, you should have let it go. That's right. No, Mike Brown. Shout out to Mike Brown. He did that. He showed how coach your boy. Anyway, when I heard where he was thinking about going, Golden State doesn't scare me for some reason because I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it'll be the super teams. I feel like they're gonna get rid of Jimmy if he comes in. I don't know. If they were able to keep all of them, it'd be interesting. But if Jimmy goes, nigga, it's the same team. So I don't know. No fear there. Sixers, that's scary. That's scary. Now that they got, because Embiid is back. If he stay healthy, that's crazy. And then who just went over there? Jaylen Brown is over there. Yeah, nigga. I'm like, oof. That's if he's serious, that's where I think he should go. Or if he wants to keep his one, the record, the first one that I said, that stat of wherever he goes, he wins, and just go home, man. Go to Cleveland. I went out to Cleveland. The first time I went to Cleveland, I didn't realize how many of us was out there, man. I was like, this is fucking beautiful. It was my first time. It's my first time. You got to see it to believe it. They don't just put it up on stats. They don't just show you in there. Guess what? All the black people in Cleveland, you don't know that shit till you get there. And not just there's people, but like the jobs. I went to the casino. Everybody working there was black. I'm like, this is lovely. I said, oh, shit. Now I see why. You know what I mean? I could feel the LeBron fans that are like, we got us one. We grew this boy up. This is our guy. And then he was like, I'm taking my comments in Miami. He was like, yeah, I'm burning jerseys and shit. So I was like, damn, calm down. But when I got out there, I said, oh, I see. So I would like him, go home. He'd have a shot. He'd probably run through the East again and then be in the final. Who knows? If he goes to the Sixers, that means he's serious. And one thing I will give him props for too. This is the last notch. Coming to the Lakers, I'm shocked that he did that. This is kind of a diss. It's a little bit of shade, but I'm surprised. You going through the East Coast easily. You want to come to the West Coast, nigga? We stacked over here. And the Lakers, it's gonna be tough every night because everybody play the Lakers want to beat your ass. We need to be breaking records on us every year, and we don't have anybody with pride that has Laker pride that ain't gonna allow this. I saw some shit. Yeah, we might want to move on. This is gonna get bad now.
Next subject.
When Patrick Beverly punked it, and he went, whatever. I'm like, no, Kobe would never.
So look, the first time you was in Cleveland.
Conclusion. Kobe
So the first time you was in Cleveland, was that with Todd?
Was that with who?
With Todd Burton. You know, the movie you shot in Akron. Remember, we met in Akron, 2023.
You're right. I think it was.
Was that with Todd?
Correct. Good memory. Boy, you good. I'll put you on the payroll.
Yeah.
Remember this with me.
You know I'm gonna look out for you. But so
that was with Todd Burton. Shout out to Todd.
And then y'all just do a movie, man. Fair game.
Yeah, it wasn't just, but yeah, that was.
Oh yeah.
It was.
Memory. Well, it's about to drop though.
Oh, is it? Oh yeah, good shit. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. Shout out to Tubi. Shout out to black filmmakers. Shout out to this era where we can make money like this together, which is cool as shit, man. I mean, you got these podcasts, you got platforms that are paying for movies and cutting a check real time. Like, you know, I get a lot of offers and they be like, we're gonna give you some back end money. I'll never see that back end money. Sorry, I gotta tell you niggas that. Because it's just a cool negotiating tool where you just be like, all right, I'm gonna give you this much and I give you some points on the back end. You gotta stay on the nigga for them points. I went after him one time. My lawyers was like, well, they said they didn't get paid. What you mean they said? Well, we can audit them and all this shit. And I'm just like, man, you missed me with the back end. So you pay me in the front.
Man, that's funny you brought up Tubi because I had a question about Tubi.
You was going to do some back end. No, nigga. The answer is no. No, go ahead.
You starred in something called Funny AF on Tubi, right?
Sure did. Nah, I didn't star in it. That is a show I produced.
Oh, you produced it. My bad.
I produced it. I did star it. I presented it. We filmed it out in Hollywood. We filmed all this episodes ourselves. And that was my first taste at seeing how Tubi pays. I'd been on the other side where niggas was getting their checks and just like, look, nigga, how much you want? I just need you for one day. Here you go. Boom. In and out. Then they go on Tubi and they rock out. So that was my first time producing the show. And I would say Tubi does pay, man. Shout out to Tubi.
But now it's one on Netflix. Was it a coincidence or what you think, bro?
No, niggas be stealing. No. I think, what's kind of funny is when we were doing Funny AF out in LA, we did the first season and then we never did another season, but we were doing shows and we'd be like, here's the start of the second season. And then we just never really followed through. And then other people, we saw someone else doing, we got a show, Funny AF Tuesdays. And we got all mad, like, they stealing from us. And I was like, no, nigga, it's Funny AF. It's not like the most unique name ever. Mother say Funny AF all the time. We just said, let's make this the name of our show. When we put it on Tubi, there was another show called Funny AF, and there was a comedy show already on there. If you look it up now, go on Tubi, you'll see there's two. You'll be like, is this Omar's? No, the one that Omar has his picture on the front saying Omar Presents. The other one was somebody else did like in 2019 or something. And I was mad at Tubi for a second. I said, damn, how you gonna let us pitch a show to y'all? Y'all already have one called Funny AF, you know what I mean? So then, so when Kevin Hart shit came on, and it was funny too though, because that's when you produce something and it's like, yo, baby, you feel a certain kind of way. So when I'm watching his shit, I'm watching it like, this shit ain't even funny. I watched the whole thing. It was brilliant. It was a great show, and it was different from ours. Ours was a showcase. I kind of did the came out host. I wasn't even doing stand up when I produced this show, so I would come out and just around. I did a couple jokes about COVID and how you only get 3 coughs and all that type of shit. I had all these little small jokes, and then I get off stage and then I brought a host up. Shout out to Warren V. And Warren V hosted the whole thing. And then I come at the end and say, thank y'all for coming. God bless. Good night type shit. You know what I mean? And I have some real comics throughout the whole show. So it is funny as I edited the whole thing, like, as far as picking the comics and who makes what in the list and so forth and so on. All the comics on there were gracious and they knew that it was something. We'd like, let's just, showcase your talents type shit. Kevin Hart's series was dope because it gave a lot of game to stand-up comedy world. And I don't know if a lot of people appreciated it unless you're in comedy, as far as doing comedy and going out and building a set and working the crowd and all that type of stuff. So they were giving away a lot of game. So that's why I liked it. And I watched it all the way through, and there was some very funny comedians on there. So it was fun to watch. So I wasn't too mad at it. But I did feel some kind of way every time he said, "Welcome to Funny AF." I was like, "You mother."
Man, you ever thought about doing YouTube skits?
No. No, I've been a part of a couple though. Like again, a lot of people, the most popular thing I've done is Baby Boy. It's just period. You know what I mean? So a lot of people be like, yo, do this skit. So I've done like 3 or 4. You know what I mean? I did one with Lethal Shooter and then he put it up later. You know what I'm saying? I did one with Action Jackson, a couple other people. So, but it took a while. I mean, the movie's 27 years old. Right. You know what I mean? The first 10, 15 years, I was just, no, nigga, no. You imagine, how many gangster movies I've been offered? Nigga? I'm like, no, nigga, no. You know what I'm saying? And then after a while, it was like, now it's just kind of like pay homage, show appreciation. Because when people see me, man, they act like the movie was done yesterday. You know what I mean? They're like, man, that shit, we just left the theaters watching Baby Boy. Like, did you? No, that was a home theater. You was watching it on BET. You know what I mean? BET made it a cult classic. When it came out in 2000, did all right in the movies, but they were scared to big up black gangster films because niggas was getting shot in the theaters. Boys in the Hood, Men's Society, niggas getting killed. You know what I mean? So they were like, ooh, Baby Boy, yeah, all right. So it didn't do well in the theaters, but afterwards it became a cult classic. So,
man, you speaking on Baby Boy, I wasn't gonna bring it up. You know what I'm saying? Cause you got so much other stuff to talk about. But since you brought it up, you got any stories never told about John Singleton? Like,
let's go with never told. Yeah, we never worked together after Baby Boy, which was interesting to me because he had some fun projects. I don't do the what happened when I wasn't there. There's a lot of shit you can't control. You go and you audition. My job was to do my job to the best of my ability. If I get an audition, I know to work the room, talk to everybody in the room, make everybody feel comfortable, crack a few jokes, let them know I'm likable, somebody you want to work with. Know my material. Bring something to the role that no one else brought. Be creative. Do my job. I can do all of that, leave the room feeling like, oh, about to book this, and then not get the part because something someone else did or said that I have no control over. I think something like that happened between me and John, but every time we saw each other was of mutual respect. I have nothing but the utmost respect for him for how he changed my career. He saw in me something that no one else was going to take a chance on, which was an actor that is versatile. Not only can I do comedy, but I can do drama. And he saw that. He took the chance, and forever grateful, end of story. So, but I think the first time I saw him after Baby Boy was after I had my son. So I have some real cool photos and videos of my son looking at him and shit. And then the next time after that was at the premiere of OJ. And that was the first time. It was me, him, and my brother. My mom has a picture of the three of us. You know what I mean? He was like, I made both these motherfuckers. We like, yeah, you're right. We can't say nothing bad about him. But yeah, man. I mean, a lot of people know that I was in a relationship with Angel, who's still a good friend of mine, and real love her to death, man. Because she's also a fan of me, of Big O. So when I do music, I send it to her. Like, what you think it is? She's like, let me hear. Okay. She's like, nigga, you got some bars in there? She's like, you said something about this. I think you'd be hard on yourself. Well, you did real deep with that. It was introspective and you blah, blah, blah. But, a lot of people don't know this, but we rap, we really rap for the ladies. We really do. Like, because women are smart as fuck. They'll listen. They'll hear bars. You know what I'm saying? We think, oh, it's nigga shit. These niggas in the womb, woo, woo, woo. But it's like, yeah, nigga, but you ain't trying to impress these. You want the women to go, yeah, because they're the biggest consumers anyway, and they're going to, spread the word. So I think if you can get them on board, that's how you win. But, we used to think it means love songs. Like, ain't everybody in love, but they are frustrated just like you, and they go through this and go through that. So that's why you just, you got to stay creative. But I just wanted to shout out Angel because a lot of people are like, damn, man, y'all worked together, and then you played husband and wife. Like, we thought y'all was married in real life. No, we didn't marry. No kids, no married. But we stayed close, for sure.
That's what's up, bro. Man, so what's your personal all-time favorite role you played in a movie or sitcom?
That's tough. It's tough. I mean, I have three. Because if you go sitcom, it was Smart Guy.
It wasn't Mr. Cooper?
No.
Man.
Mr. Cooper was the beginning. Mr. Cooper was how I learned how to fight. Mr. Cooper, I was cast as Irvin Rodman, and Irvin was just a funny little trickster in the class. That was in the presentation for this show called Hanging with Mr. Cooper. We sold it, then we made the pilot, then we went to series. I was there from the very beginning, but I was made 7 out of 13 episodes. We do 25 every season. So 7 out of 13 means I'm only guaranteed 7. So there's a lot of episodes of Hanging with Mr. Cooper that I'm not in. It's like, you was a series regular, right? Yeah, but it was more like a reoccurring for the first 3 years. The final 2 seasons, We got brand new executive producers that picked us up for the final 2 seasons and made me a series regular. So that's why I say I learned to fight. I learned to be just the guest guy. Sometimes I was doing setup jokes, and then I would take the setup joke and make it funny. That's how I made my bones. You give me one line, where are you going? I'm going over here. Oh, that's the funny part, the hidden part. I made the, where you going, funny. You know what I'm saying? So I learned to make the setup joke. And they said, oh, we got to give him some more lines. I love the live studio audiences back in the 90s. That's where it really came to life. We had 5 days of film. We'd get the script over the weekend. Monday, we do the table read and go home. Tuesday, we do the table read and block it. Wednesday, we do run-throughs where we run through the show for the producers. Thursday, we run through for the studio heads. And then Friday, the live audience came in. So when the live audience came in, bro, that was when you really found out how funny you were, how you react and so forth. And it was real nerve-wracking, like, oh, nobody wants to mess up in front of the live audience. And then when you do, they laugh even more. You know what I mean? So I also didn't know that you could go off script and improvise. I watched Mark Curry master this, you know, because I read the script over the weekend, and then we'd have the table read, and Mark would be saying stuff. I'm like, what page is this on? Where is he coming up with this shit? And he's just writing his own shit. So I'm like, oh, let me try that. So I would try stuff during the rehearsals, and then I'd see it the next day. They wrote it into the script. So now I'm becoming a writer. I'm becoming more creative. But again, it was me still trying to fine tune, my game. One of the executive producers of that show, Danny Kalis, started a show called Smart Guy. So he knew me. And then he wrote Mo. Mo was the least amount of effort for a show because it was just written for me. When I would see the lines, I wouldn't go, damn, how do I fix this? Or how do I change this to that? Or blah, 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 blah. Or how do I tune this, moving around behind the camera out and finish my story? Like, I had to learn how to focus, basically. Focus, nigga. We good over here? Okay, I'll continue. So Smart Guy was my favorite because I had worked through hanging with Mr. Cooper on my craft, and then I had it perfected. That was like the height of my comedy. I was getting paid well. We was living the dream, going to Vegas every weekend. Funnest time ever, right? Baby Boy, of course, was me showing another side, the process of getting there, learning how to get his roll down. So I wanted to yell, I learned to talk through my teeth, all that shit. Like, that grind, meeting Angel, having that connection, boom, boom, boom. That was an experience that just can't be measured, right? But when you say favorite, I always go to one other thing. And this was because it's 3 different things. You had a sitcom, you had a movie, Major Motion Picture, and then I had a 1-hour drama series called Playmakers. This was on ESPN, of all things. There was a time, I think it was like 2 years, where ESPN did dramas. We were the first. Then they did one called, I think, Tilt, about a poker, and then they did some other one. But Playmakers, I never got to play football. In high school, first day I was working on Hammond Scoopers. I had a job. So I went to go try out for football. And they said, hey, listen, all you freshmen, first day in high school, it's about dedication. Practice starts today. All right, get out of here. Get ready. Go hit the ball. When I walked up to the coach, I said, yeah, man, listen, I'm an actor. So I can't come today. But next week I'll be here every day. And he was like, go f yourself. You know what I'm saying? He like, this ain't for you. If you got something else to do, go do that. If you want to play football, then you here every single day. I'm like, I can't commit to every day. So when I got cast in the role of Playmakers, I was so excited because I got to play a football player. And I really went through like all of it. Like blew out my hamstrings and all that, just running the 40, you know what I mean? Got in shape because we were in Canada filming this shit in Toronto. Let me tell you something. If you're ever single, go to Toronto. Let me put it that way. It is a lot of beautiful women in Toronto. And the crazy thing is, I got to experience, it felt like I was acting as this famous football star. And then when they said cut, I was living it out in the streets. Like, because then the show hit. And once it hit, I was getting recognized everywhere out there. Man, I came home to Vegas and was mobbed like I was Michael Jackson. That shit was so popular at the time that it wasn't just my people. Like, black people see me now. Oh, hey, that's woo woo woo. I walk by a group of white people. They, excuse me. They don't know who I am, right? At that time, use a hard R too. I just gotta bleep. No. Bleep that shit. But I was in Vegas and I had to get escorted out of this casino because they were just mobbing me. But it was everybody. It wasn't just black. It was Asians. People that name like, you think, no, I'm not Cuba. It's Omar. They, no, you're DH. You're DH from Playmakers. And we thought that show was going to run forever. But the NFL was like, that. You know what I mean? But that was probably the best time I've ever had filming.
Man, you know what I thought your favorite movie was, bro? Sharks in the Hood.
What a dick. This must have been an hour. It's got to be. Go ahead, AC. Cut it off. Cut the AC off. Sharks in the Hood. See, that's you got to be careful when you do favors for motherfuckers.
But let them know that's a real movie, though, now.
No, you let them know. You let them know. I done forgot about that. I held my breath when I heard him say that. You know it's funny, too? My brother, let me deflect. My brother, when I had kids, my nigga fist bumping behind camera and shit. Ain't this a bitch? When I had my first son, my brother was like, he was like, I was really dedicated to my firstborn. I was there every day and da-da-da. And he was like, and my second son, I was just trying to get out the house. I was like, really? He said, yeah, nigga, you ever see Boat Trip? He's like, nigga, I was trying to get the out. And I was laughing so hard. I was like, yeah, when you can pick and choose your movies, and sometimes you see a movie, you be like, why the fuck did they do that? There's reason behind it. I ain't got a good reason for Sharks in the Hood. Check wasn't even that good. I think I was bored. That was boredom. That was some too. You laugh and you be like, this is gonna be a funny comedy, and it's messed up too because
I watched it.
As actors, well, I appreciate you. I didn't get no backhand on that though either. As actors, you just don't know. You get a script and be like, okay, this shit gonna be dope. But if you ain't got the right editor, you know what I'm saying? Like Tubi. Some of these Tubi movies, you be like, you can tell they just gave somebody a shot. And these niggas just put in some muzzle flashes or some bullshit. And you just like, man, come on. You could have done so much better with this film. But some people like that shit. You know, I love people like, oh, don't mess with my Tubi movies. I love my hood Tubi movies. Because you know it's going to be some real shit. They're like, it's going to be some shit. But I don't know how real it is. But yeah, you just never know. You never know. Sharks.
I hit you with that one.
That was up.
So, yeah, you got a feature with Cassidy, right?
Yeah, I got two.
Tell me about that. How them come about?
Cassidy. Shout out to Cassidy. You know what I really want to give? I'm glad you brought that up. I want to give such a strong shout out to Cassidy because this is the thing. People that listen to my music, they'll hear it and they'll probably say the same thing. Pay attention. I want you to hear this.
I got you. I
want them. People that hear my music say the same thing that Camron said to me the first time I sent him some of my music when we worked together on Percentage. I sent him some of my music, and the next day on set, he looked at me and he said, nigga, I was shocked. A lot of people looked shocked. They weren't expecting that. That's why when this record came out, a lot of people were shocked. Like, damn. And then they put it together, and like, you think about it, yeah, the nigga was rapping on, like, Hang with Mr. Cooper. He was in the Smart Guy intro, but that's, you know, it's TV rap. That ain't real. Like, you know, this nigga ain't busting. Like, oh, shit. Like, nigga, I used to battle rap. You know what I mean? This, you know. But I've worked with Snoop, Jeezy. Man, I've worked with a lot of rappers, but never worked with them in music. And I was like, well, damn, you can come be an actor, but but you won't meet me in the booth? What is it?
Right.
And I think some of the thinking is, you know, they have their reputation and they don't want to. It's kind of like trying to cross over. That's why I give so much respect to John Singleton, is he took the chance, and now they're like, oh, shit, no, he can act. We got to let him listen. Because before that, they were like, yeah, he's funny, but even though I would kill it in the audition room, once it got to the, you know, producers and investors and people that are going to make the final decision, they're like, who's this guy? Oh, and he's from what? Oh, no. Let's get a name, or let's get somebody else, or let's give it to a rapper, ironically. But Cassidy, I didn't even meet him on that. He just heard some music of mine, and then I did a song, I'm trying to think of the brother's name, out of Memphis. Sorry, man, he can watch the interview like, come on, nigga, I'm right there. Come on, track, my nigga, I'll get it right. In edit. I'll do like that. Put his name in right there. And he works with him as a engineer, and he raps. And he pushed play. And Cassidy sent shout out like, yeah, I f with you. Let's work. When you in Atlanta, hit me. And then I came to Atlanta a couple times. We kept missing each other. And then finally he was just like, yo, I got this shit. Mic check. I think you can go hard on. And he sent it to me, nigga. I sent it right back with a verse. Boom, boom, boom. And then I got an album coming out where I sent him another song. And I watched his process. It's crazy too. Cassidy's a beast.
Look,
like when I sent him the beat, he listened to it in real time and texted me back the hook. like immediately. I said, what you think it is? 2 seconds later, I see the bubble moving. He like, boom, this sounds like some ill woo woo woo. I said, whoa, he said, yeah, something like, and he kept going. I was like, that's what's up. And then in like 48 hours, he sent it back with his hook done. I was like, nasty. And then I went work on the verses. So that one I'm keeping for me. But mic check is out now.
Yeah, Cass don't like he arrogant. He cool. It's a cool arrogant. You know, I fool with Cass. Shout out Cass, but he don't just rap with anybody so get a shout out from him. That's real. That's a real. You know what I mean?
Respect,
that's how you know he really meant that.
Yeah, that's respect. Much respect.
So look,
I still ain't met the nigga. We did 2 songs.
Over the what? Y'all had to send the sessions.
Yeah, he sent me a beat. I sent him the session for mine, and then he did the same thing with the session for his. So I'm like, yeah, nigga, that's a real one right there.
Oh yeah. So man, what's one story you never told in the interview because nobody asked you the right question?
I don't know.
You got something, man.
Oh, I got plenty. You gotta ask the right question. Doing your job. Get to work. Get specific. Story about what?
Your life.
Come on now. Narrow it down, interviewer.
When you grew up in California.
I got to a head up fade with some bloods on the street corner after I did Baby Boy because when you're out with your friend and your people and they see you, they don't know what's what. So they'll be like, they go. Like the nigga said something like, oh, they go to acting nigga. And then one of my niggas said, yeah, acting nigga with hands. Right? And it was just kind of like, that was unnecessary. But now I've got to show him these hands. No, it was just, nigga turned around and then we all looked at each other, what's up? And then it diffused and we walked off and then I took my shirt off. Like, and the crazy thing is we was already drinking. We got into it, us, the homies. We drinking, and then and this was in a time where it was not frowned upon to drink and drive. No, but we got to where we was at, and then the 2 of us started going, and I had to break up 2 of the homies. So we was already on 10. So we now walking into a club, and them niggas, they just turn around like, oh, they go to that acting. That's all they needed to say to start, you know what I'm saying? And one of my niggas, he got hands though, nigga, what y'all want to do, and all this shit. And then I started getting down with this, and then they pull out a gun, and it's all right, it's over, and all that type of shit. But the crazy thing was, it was also back in the day when we had phones, like rotary phones. And my phone rang the next day. He was like, yeah, nigga, we the niggas you getting down with it. And I was like, what? How you fucking find it? We know where you live, all this shit. Like, what's up? Like, no, we cool with you. You got down. You got the fade. We with that other fat nigga that was with you, though. That nigga better come see me. Was a nigga. You know where we at. You by. Click. Nigga was click. We was looking out the window and shit like Scorsese. Wait. And they never came. But it was, then when I found out later, one of my homies, shout out Merchant, who had to do some time, nigga. But he was like, nah, nigga, that's the homie. Y'all nigga out here. I was like, oh, that's how they got my number? He's like, nigga, I just wanted to make sure that wasn't nothing crazy going on, but, let's connect and so forth and so on. So, yeah, some good times. But it was also before social media. That shit happen now. Be world star. That should be everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And thank God for that. I had people around me that understood the assignment. They ain't type of niggas that do this shit now where they gonna film me and then sell it to TMZ. You know what I'm saying? Or put me on blast and now you done f*** the bread off. You know what I mean? I don't get these young niggas. What the fuck are you f***ing the bread off? You know this nigga the check. I digress.
Man, I had so much more to ask, bro. That's our time, bro. Right, appreciate man. You coming through.
That's why there's part 2s and part 3s.
Exactly, man. You got so much man, come on. I ain't even get halfway through nothing, bro.
Yeah, man. Well, stay with your boy, man. Social medias, at Omar Gooding on Instagram. But go to my website, omargooding.net. You'll see all my appearances coming up. I got merchandise on there. I got all type of shit, man. I'm selling weed, doing hairs. No, I'm just kidding. But with your boy, man.